Mixing background vocals can be super tough. Feels like chasing your tail sometimes or running in circle. And there's one thing that I hear a lot of people get wrong, and it's a super easy fix. I'm going to show it to you right here. It's just going to level them up and make them sound so much more professional and tighter. So let's get into it. Yo, what's good, guys? Inswain with Inswain Audio. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, subscribe and stick around because I'm dropping videos every day just like this. You're not going to want to miss them, I'm telling you. Anyways, let's just get right into this. So we got here, it's a little indie-ish, whatever, folk, rock, singer-songwriter type song. Not important. This applies to any genre, but we have our instruments. I grouped them all together because it's not important. We're going to be focusing on the vocals. And we got a lead vocal, a background for the left, and a background out the right. I'll let you hear it real quick to see what we're working with.
So bid me a fond farewell. Sing me one long last goodbye.
Okay, that's what we're working with. It's not mixed at all, no processing, just the left and the right. But I'm going to show you one trick that's going to just make the backgrounds sit so much tighter with just this one thing, not even counting the rest of the processing. So if you notice when I just play it, the vocals that are coming out the left and the right, they're hard panned, which is pretty common, especially if you have a 3-stack like this. But the problem with this is things that are super hard panned that have sibilants, like, top end, harshness, S sounds basically. Those are very distracting and very audible when they're coming out the sides. Now, we know that sibilants can be a problem in a vocal regardless, even when it's down the middle, but when it's coming out the sides like these hard pan vocals, it's even more distracting, especially when you have multiple of these vocals like we have here, singing the same thing at the same time. If all the sibilances hit like a few milliseconds apart, you're hearing them like in the middle, left, right. It's all distracting, right? And you probably don't want that. So one thing that a lot of people forget is to de-S their hard pan background vocals, or even if they're not hard pan, just panned background vocals, de-S them a little bit more aggressively. Sometimes they can give you a better sound. So I have a de-esser set up here. I'm going to enable it on the left and the right background vocal. And if I pull it up to show you, these exact settings aren't necessarily important. There's a preset in the wave sibilants called doubling. And this is to just show you guys that the preset is doing extreme de-essing, like the threshold all the way down. It's doing up to 31 dBs of gain reduction. It's extreme de-essing. And there's a reason that the preset doubling does extreme de-essing, because a lot of times the doubles, we get rid of the S's and we don't necessarily need them. But enough of me talking about it. I'll let you hear it now. Remember the before, how the S's were distracting. Now listen to it, and you're going to hear that the vocal in the left and the right are not distracting with sibilants.
So bid me a fond farewell. Sing me one long last goodbye.
Right, it's much more pleasant. It's not distracting and poking out and just all over the place, which I hear a lot of amateurs do on their mixes. And what's crazy is this is extreme de-essing, like I said. If I were to play these background vocals in solo, they would sound over de-essed, like wispy. It would sound awful, but in the context of the mix, it's going to sound fine, like you just heard. I'll play you one of these background vocals soloed and listen to how much de-essing is going on, and how if this was the lead vocal or if it was played in isolation, it would sound horrible. But in the context of the mix, you heard it sounded fine. So listen to this here with the de-esser in solo.
So bid me a fond farewell.
Like when they say so, the first word,
So bid me a fond.
and fond, it's super de-essed. But remember, in the context of the mix, it sounded fine. Listen to that again.
So bid me a fond farewell.
So you don't even notice that those S's and F's, that sibilance is missing, because the lead vocal still has the proper amount. So you hear that in the lead vocal, and then the backgrounds, it's not there, but you don't notice it. It just feels nice and tight, and the backgrounds work with the lead vocal a lot better, and it's not distracting and all over the place. Especially when you start adding reverb, it's going to get really, bright reverb washing out sibilant and brittle sounding, and it's very distracting. So there you have it, guys. There is one simple thing that a lot of people overlook to help your background vocal sound better is you might want to de-ess them a little bit more aggressively than the lead vocal you have down the middle. That's totally fine. Even if they're not panned, it can still help to de-ess them a little extra. But of course, use your ears, do this to taste. This isn't going to work on every song. And this is just a preset I slapped on for an example. If you're actually mixing, take the time to make sure you dial in the fine details because they go a long way. Let me know down in the comments below if this helped you. If you could, give me a like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. If not, man, no worries, because I'll be back tomorrow. I'll see y'all then. Inswain with Inswain Audio. Peace.